Hey guys, it's Saturday here, the 28th I believe. So I started fooling around with the backhoe a little bit here because it's not really cold out, but it's still icy on the opposite side where the starter is. So what I decided to do was to charge the battery up good. You can see it's taking a charge there. Let me see if I can zoom in. The needle was all the way at the top before, but it's going down now. So I'm going to charge it and check it out, see how it's doing. I took one of the cables off there because I want to be able to do some wiring. I'm not sure what's what up under the dash here, but I'll show you what I'm doing up there now. So I took the 4 bolts out of that dash that I made and I took it off. One of the things I need to fix is this throttle here, the hand throttle. It takes a pretty good beating under there. It doesn't seem to want to throttle up as much as it should. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a 1/4-inch hole in here and put another bolt in there, a 1/4-inch bolt, and hopefully that'll work a little bit better, because it's just not it's not working the way it ought to, and I don't like that, because when I throttle this all the way up, it's not even going to you know, 3/4 the throttle, let alone full throttle. The other thing I did while I had this apart, I don't know if you can see down in there, but yeah, you can see the starter switch. And I'm not positive of what's wrong with this. I'm pretty sure it's the alternator is deadening the battery and stuff, but I'm just fooling around with it today because I can't really get at the alternator until I get the bucket lifted up. But here's the thing, the switch right here, this starter switch, I just wanted to make sure all the wires were on there and they were tight and all, so that's all good, so I don't have to worry about that for right now. So I just decided, well, since I have this thing apart, I'd go ahead and fix this throttle. I'm going to drill a 1/4-inch hole and put a heavier bolt in there, because I've been putting all kind of pins and stuff in there and everything seems to break. It doesn't seem like there's anything tough enough to not break in there so far. So a number 5 bolt I have, that should hold that, but we'll find out. So I'm going to drill a hole in there first. Okay, so you can see where I have the hole drilled there. It seems as though it drilled pretty quickly, pretty easily. I just put a brand new bit on the drill. Sally had bought me a box of DeWalt drill bits for Christmas, so I used a 1/4-inch bit from that just to see what's going to happen. So let me just put a bolt in there and we'll see. Okay, well, drilling that hole in there certainly made a difference. This handle here used to go all the way up and just about touch the window. Now it's 3-4 inches away from the glass up here, but the throttle's fully on. So it's good that I drilled that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a nut on the end of that thing so that it doesn't fall out from all the jumping around we do with this. And then I'm going to wet that down with some WD-40 to help it to work good. Alright, you can see how the bolt's on there. Now the threaded part of the bolt fit in there better than what the shank did, because it was an exact 1/4-inch hole. So I'm just going to leave it like that. I have a nut on the bottom of that, one of those aircraft nuts with the plastic on it to keep it on. So it'll give me something to grab a hold of if I have to pull it out. But that should be good. I'm not going to worry about it. There's nothing in the way. It's not going to really hit anything. So as far as I'm concerned, that's good. And I like the way that the throttle moves full distance there. Okay. So that's fixed. So I'm going to put this dash back on there. Okay, well, I put WD-40 on that rod coming across there, and I put the dash on. It's just a matter of 4 screws here. They were Phillips head, but not too long ago I had cutting with a hacksaw down through there to make it a regular head, because the Phillips head was sort of worn out on it a little bit. So anyway, that's what I've got there so far, and that's fine. I'm not going to worry about that, but I do want to see if I can't get this thing to kick over. Just to show you, this is a little DeWalt set that she bought me. I have probably 2,000 drill bits. okay, and Sally doesn't always know what to get me because I really don't tell her what I break because I just go buy it when I break it. But I did need a set, especially of the smaller bits, because I'm always forever buying them. But they're nice bits. I don't know what you paid for them, but they work good. So that's all that matters, just so they work and that I can sharpen them. Now I was going to try the starter, but the battery's not charged all the way yet. It probably has, maybe about 4 hours of charging on it. I'm going to let that thing charge until that battery is good and charged, until it goes down to hardly charging anything. Right now it's charging at about 75 amps, I believe. So what I'm going to do is probably tomorrow then I'll hook the battery back up, see if the starter does work. If not, I'm going to have to do something after that starter, but I also need to get the alternator apart. But I think what I might do is take the wires off the alternator, because that should, if the battery's being discharged by the alternator, that should stop that from happening. But either way, I'll take that off and I'll keep the wires off the battery until I'm ready to try the starter again. Well, the battery's charging there pretty good. It's almost done, but I'm going to leave this thing hooked up overnight and let it charge up good. And then I'm going to take the wires off the alternator and see if the starter will turn. Because right now, once the battery's charged up, I'm having a problem with figuring out why the starter doesn't want to turn over. Even if the alternator is killing the battery, it can't kill it that fast. But I'm going to take the wires off the alternator after I do this and see what happens. So that'll be tomorrow sometime. It's the end of the day already here, Saturday, and we didn't lose a lot of snow, but we're losing some every day. Of course, I don't know what's going to happen with this weather. It looks like it's supposed to get a little cooler next week sometime, but I'm not sure. I just hate the mud. I'd rather have the ice than the mud, to be honest. But I'd rather have snow than ice. The kiln was up to 85 degrees today, so that was doing pretty good, especially with it not being really totally sunny out. Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow with this thing. Well, I can't wait to get my snowplow parts. I don't like working on 15 different things at once. I got the truck charging good. I want to get the snowplow fixed on it, and then I really want to fix this thing, but I figured I'd charge the battery up good first. It's almost 5 o'clock. It's like 4:45, and you can see that the temp there is, what is that, 37. Yeah, so it hasn't been, real cold out, but it'll go down tonight enough to keep this from freezing. And you can tell just by looking at the porch there, it's thawing, I mean, but it's thawing really slow. Still got some snow out there yet. Anyway, I think it's Tuesday. I think they're calling for snow. Have a good one, guys. Sally just went out to feed the chickens. I just want to show you her walking on the ice. And it looks like, now you'd think she would walk in the mud, but she don't like the mud. She'd rather walk on the ice because she don't want the mud in the house. But, I mean, for an old person, this is the way it is. And they work a lot better having them than not. She'll probably be mad at me now for putting her on YouTube. So this is our supper. It's called cheeseburger pie. Sally's been making this for years. I really enjoy having it too every now and then. There's Bisquick, I believe, in it. I know there's hamburger, some seasonings, cheese, and I think Bisquick. It tastes pretty good too. This will be good for the two of us for supper.